Hi, I'm Dr. JB, and today I'm going to talk to Chuck Rudolph from MRM about MRM's new product, FreshOMEGA. Hi, Chuck.
Hi, JB.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about FreshOMEGA, and today what we want to do is focus in on some clinical studies and the benefits of the omegas. So if you can give us a background on FreshOMEGA first.
Definitely. The FreshOMEGA is MRM's new product. It's a pure, fresh, extra virgin Norwegian salmon oil. It's a full spectrum of all the natural omegas, including EPA, DHA, and the newly talked about DPA. They're all in a triglyceride form, so they're in the 100% natural raw state. And we actually have clinical validation of a one-a-day formula that supports a lot of our heart health and cholesterol health as well.
We've heard a lot about the importance of omega fatty acids. There's been a lot in the scientific literature and obviously a lot in the lay media as well. Tell us a little bit about exactly what omega oils can offer us in terms of benefits.
Well, a lot of research has shown that once you get an optimal level of the omega oils, we start seeing benefits to our cardiovascular health, immune boosting properties as well. We look at joint and connective tissue support, as well as helping our focus and our concentration. The omegas are also extremely vital for the growth of healthy brain cells, heart cells, and beneficial effects on eyes and kidney tissue as well. The nice thing about FreshOMEGA, as I stated before, it is fresh, it is raw, it is the actual whole food product from the salmon, and it gives us a full spectrum of naturally occurring ratios of our fatty acids, including omega-3s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 9s.
One of the omega fatty acids that you mentioned is DPA. It's been getting a lot of attention lately. Can you tell us a bit more about DPA?
DPA is docosapentaenoic acid, and it is a lot of good new research coming out on its potential as being an essential omega-3 along with EPA and DHA. DPA is basically an intermediate between EPA and DHA, so it's kind of given us the idea that it's kind of like a reservoir. So if the body needs a little bit of DHA, it could actually call on DPA to convert and make some if necessary. There's also evidence supporting that a DHA plus DPA supporting the cardiovascular health, as well as looking at reducing platelet aggregation. And the best thing about this is the DPA is naturally found in high amounts of salmon oil, as well as spotted seal and menhaden.
The other omega fatty acid that's been talked about increasingly recently is the omega-7 fatty acids. So tell us a bit about those.
The omega-7 fatty acid, in particular the palmitoleic acid, is probably the most beneficial of the omega-7s. It's got a lot of research looking at it to support healthy cholesterol levels, looking at supporting good triglyceride levels, as well as supporting good cholesterol and the HDL cholesterol levels as well. The other thing that we know that University of Harvard has performed several clinical studies looking at palmitoleic acid and its benefits on supporting healthy blood sugar levels too. The best thing about our FreshOMEGA is because it's 100% natural, it's raw, we get the perfect ratio of the palmitoleic acid to palmitic acid. So we're looking at high amounts of 85% greater of the beneficial palmitoleic acid, where there are some products on the market that promote an omega-7 product, maybe a sea buckthorn. However, they contain very high amounts of the palmitic acid, which research has kind of shown that could be detrimental to the body.
One of the great things about the information I've been reading about FreshOMEGA is that there's been a specific clinical study done to validate the particular dose that we're recommending.
Yes, one thing about MRM is we are definitely interested and we are dedicated to doing clinical style trials on our products. And fortunately for us, the FreshOMEGA, the first study we did, used 1,000 milligrams per day. And what it showed was improvements in a oxidized LDL protein called low-density lipoprotein beta-2 glycoprotein 1. Fortunately, though, it showed better benefits than your typical 18 to 12 DHA, as well as DHA from algal oil. There's a lot of emerging data right now supporting this oxidized LDL protein as a pretty reliable biomarker. indicating if we can reduce this oxidation of LDL, we're able to increase our cardiovascular health and lower the risk factors for any potential concerns.
So oxidized LDL glycoprotein acts as a biomarker, sort of taking into account all of the other things that might be going on in the system and condensing it down to one easy to measure outcome.
Correct, versus looking at, hey, what's your HDL, what's your total cholesterol, what's your ratio. Yes, this one's pretty new, and it's given us a really good idea of what's going on completely. Also, we're looking at the actual FreshOMEGA has shown to, in the clinical trial, reduce cholesterol levels, reduce triglyceride levels, lower the oxidized LDL, and lowerize the VLDL as well. And what we're happy to announce is we're doing another study currently right now using our FreshOMEGA, and we should have research or results done probably around early to mid next year.
Let's summarize the information in this video podcast, and some of these topics will go into more detail in some of the other podcasts on this subject. The question that we need to ask people is, can your fish oil say all of this? And the first thing that we're excited about is the freshness, which is obviously in the name. What other things do you think are important in terms of looking for the ideal fish oil product?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a pretty intense list of things that differentiate our FreshOMEGA from other oils, other salmon oils, other fish oils on the market. You do get a full spectrum of omega fatty acids in the triglyceride form, which is the normal natural form. It's definitely non-GMO. Another unique thing that we do is we use fish gelatin, so it is fish through and through. There is no pig gelatin, there's no cow gelatin involved. It is 100% fish. Because of where they swim, it's hormone-free, it's anabolic-free. There's no molecular distillation, there's no winterization, we don't use any bleaches, no heat, there's no pressure extraction. We actually use an enzymatic extraction, which is extremely unique, and it is patented. We have a clinical study that proves that it works, it helps and support heart health. Because we're getting the natural triglyceride form, there's a drastic reduction in any possible fish oil burps, as everyone knows it as, and it's repeatable too, so we don't get the reflux from the fish oil. And the other thing that's very, very important to MRM is it's sustainable and we can trace it. We know exactly where our fish are grown and where they come from.
And we'll go into those last two issues in another video podcast on this subject. So that's fantastic. Thanks very much, Chuck. For those of you watching this online, you can go directly to either of these websites. There is the MRM corporate website, www.mrm-usa.com. Or you can go to the dedicated FreshOMEGA website, www.freshomega.com. You can get more information and certainly order the FreshOMEGA from either of those two places. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, JB.